Slot's team selection was crazy, but I could live with it. What I can't live with is the bench. And this loss against Crystal Palace now for me makes the Villa game even bigger than it was before. We're going to chop up what happened last night and what could happen on Saturday. Let's get into it, people. Hi everyone. If this is your first time coming across Team Kopish, then please do subscribe and do like the video if you are in agreement or disagreement with what I'm going to say on this video. Liverpool battered at home 3-0 to Crystal Palace. Now, on paper, when you see that result, you go, wow, Crystal Palace really put a number on Liverpool. And they did. Crystal Palace did absolutely nothing wrong. They came to the game and they got a comfortable 3-0 win. They were in no danger of conceding any goals, and they navigated the game pretty well. But that doesn't tell the full story. And the story coming out of this game for Liverpool, as opposed to Crystal Palace, is the team selection. Now, the team selection on the day, or the night, should I say, was Woodman in goal, the three at the back, which we didn't see coming, which was Robbo, Gomez, and Endo. The wing backs being Calvin Ramsey, who made his first appearance in around 3 years for Liverpool, Kirkes at left wing back, Nioni and McAllister in the double pivot, and then a front three of Kieran Morrison, Federico Chiesa in the number 9, and Rio Ngamoa. Now, I understand why Slot played this team. And again, I'm not going to make excuse for him. I know a lot of people are really annoyed with the starting 11. I'm not that annoyed with the starting 11. And I understand why he did that. And I'll explain why I understand, even if I don't necessarily agree with the starting 11. If everyone in our squad's fit, we would have had Alisson available, Frimpong, Leone, Gravenberch, Jones, Isak, all available. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone, but those are the 6 main players. Now, given that Alisson isn't ready to return to football at the moment, then naturally the number 1 goalkeeper at the moment is Mamadashvili, so Woodman gets to start here. I don't have an issue with that. Because Frimpong is unavailable with a hamstring injury and we know he's not going to be available for a while, I don't think Slot saw any purpose in risking Connor Bradley in this game. Again, I can understand it, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. Because Leone's injured and we only have 3 senior centre-backs, you don't want to risk Konate and Virgil. I understand that as well. But then you do also play both left-backs at the same time, which is a bit of a, a bit of an oxymoron. But again, I understand it was short, so Robert had to make up the 3rd centre-back, which again, I don't have an issue with given the formation. In midfield, Nioni and McAllister, again, no Gravenberch, no Jones, understandable. So Bosla is the only other player, and he needs a rest. And Endo's already in defence. No Stefan Bajcetic available, plus we sold Morton, etc. McConnell's on loan. I understand that as well. The front line, Chiesa, Kieran Morrison, Rio Ngamoa. Again, starting, I don't have an issue with. But where I do have an issue is the bench. For me, Salah could have been on the bench. Ekitike could have been on the bench. One of Virgil Konate could have been on the bench. Why? Bradley could have been on the bench. These guys could have been on the bench. And I'll be honest with you, we did a preview for the game and I thought we'd lose the game just given momentum, the fact that I thought we'd rotate, and then the fact I thought Palace would go quite strong in this game, and as they did. But when I saw the starting lineup and then I saw the bench, there was absolutely no way we were winning the game. But at the same time, I'm going to be fair to Arne Slot. Tonight, or should I say last night, he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. So I'll paint a picture, guys. If he went strong in this game, and let's say we won, but we lost out a player on injury or these players were fatigued, and then we lost the Villa game, everyone would go, why did you do that in the Carabao Cup game and then sacrifice the Premier League? He's effectively sacrificed the Carabao Cup And people are still crashing out on him saying, well, why did you do that when that was one of our better chances of winning a trophy, given that we are stinking in the Premier League at the moment? He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. So for that, I feel sorry for him for. But at the same time, the reason we're in this situation is because of a string of bad performances, which I believe falls at his feet. And the players take blame as well. But in my opinion, he gets the majority of the blame. Let's say we had gone into this game and won, I don't know, 4 out of the last 6. I don't think he feels pressure in this game. I don't think we as a fan base feel pressure in this game. But because we've been so poor leading up to this game carried pressure. And for me as a manager, he didn't react well to it, because I think the starting 11's fine, but you bolster that bench. You don't just put kids on the bench, because as soon as we went 1-0 down, the game was done. Because in no way, shape or form did we look like creating anything against that Palace defence. And as soon as you go a goal down, you look at the bench and you think, there's nothing on the bench that's going to save us here either. And that for me made life very comfortable for Crystal Palace. Now, the other side of things is, how do the fans feel about this? And I'll say it. I can't remember the last time I watched the Liverpool game at Anfield whereby fans were actively leaving in their droves around the 80th minute. That's not good. I remember Klopp came in, and in one of his first games, ironically against Crystal Palace, we lost the game 2-1. I was actually at that game, and fans were leaving quite early. And he called the fans out and said, how on earth can you be leaving the stadium early? And that was at 2-1. We were 2-0 down at this point. And fans were leaving because they knew there was no way of getting back into this game. And one of our friends who works with us on his channel, Jamie Phillips, he was at the game, and he lives in London, 7-hour journey to get there. Don't know how long it's going to take for him to get back. But I know he's livid with the starting 11. I know he's livid with the bench. I know he is livid with how we've gone out of the cup. And here's the thing, because of how bad we've been in the Premier League, and the fact that the Premier League looks out of sight for us with the start we've had, there's an argument to say you should have maybe gone strong in this competition, because this might be one of the only chances to win a trophy this season, given how we're playing and the injuries we're picking up at the moment. The Champions League looks a stretch. The Premier League is a massive stretch, and the FA Cup is dependent on the draw we get and the form we're in at the time. I never like sacrificing these competitions. And I know I might be in the minority of that. Maybe I'm just, again, a football nerd who wants to win all the trophies. But again, wasn't Liverpool built on winning trophies? But at the same time, I do have some sympathy for him, because he's looking at the Aston Villa game thinking, I need to keep as many players fresh as possible for that game. But what that has done now, that has opened the door for a pressure cauldron in the Aston Villa game. Because if we don't go and win that game, the pressure is high now. I think the pressure could be unbearable for him after that Villa game if we don't win that game. And I use the word don't win the game as opposed to lose, because a draw is not good enough in the Villa game either. And Villa are in great form, 7 wins on the bounce. We have to win that game now, because of what you've just done is sacrifice the competition. So if you sacrifice the competition and you win, then you can justify it to an extent. Now, obviously, we've still got other games after that we need to win as well. But if we sacrifice the competition and we lose, I can only imagine what the fan base are going to do and how they're going to feel. Positives out of the game, though, on a personal level for me, is the fact that we tried a different formation. Now, a few weeks ago, I tweeted saying that I want us to try 3 at the back alongside with football with ends, and kind of got ridiculed for it, because I said I wanted Robbo to be the 3rd centre back, and I wanted him to do that because he's good at channel defending, because he's been a left back, and it for me would allow Kirkers and Frimpong that freedom to get up and down the pitch a bit more without having to focus as much defensively, because we'd have the cover of 3 centre backs. And also with starting Robbo, it means we still have Gomez in reserve as well to back up Virgil or Konate if needed. Plus, it would mean a pivot of Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, and then you could play 2 10s with Salah and Wirtz behind Isak, or you could play Wirtz in a single 10 and play 2 strikers with Ekitike and Isak. It gives you a bit more options. I believe it's a bit more fluid, and with the players we have at the moment, I think it gives you a bit more solidarity in the team. For the first 40 minutes before Palace scored their first goal, that formation was working and we looked good. Now, granted, Palace did get to grips with it and then kind of blitzed us, especially before the first half. 2 daggers by Sarr to get a brace. However, there's a strong argument to say if we play that formation with our strongest available 11, we could get some good results out of that, in my opinion. And look, one thing we have to praise Slot about is he did try something new today. Now, granted, again, the caveat is he tried it with players who aren't familiar with even playing for Liverpool, let alone with this style. But it's something to work on. And look, everyone knows my stance on the manager at the moment. But I also have to praise him when he's doing something that's different. If he was continuing to go with the 4-2-3-1 and shoehorning players in and moving players around, I'd be frustrated. Am I upset we lost? Yes. Am I upset in the manner we lost? Yes. Am I upset with how the season's going? Yes. But I have to be fair and I have to credit him with trying this new formation. The question is now, does he revert back to type, or does he actually give this formation a proper try with proper personnel and go for it? So time will only tell. But look, people, it was just a short one here. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Was Slot completely wrong for the team selection? How did you feel when you saw the team selection? Have we thrown away a chance of winning a trophy, or will the means be justified by the ends? People, let me know in the comment section. Thank you all for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe and to switch on the notification bell. With Team Kopish. We're out, people. Take care.